Hi friends, welcome back to Table Full of Joy. I'm Cheryl and we are in the middle of a big baking week of getting ready to give out some gifts that we have that we're making for some people. So we're going to get started on our recipe number 2. As I said earlier, all of the videos for this week, for all of these things that we're doing, I'll link them all up for you up here so you guys can check all of those out, but everything will be linked together in just one big holiday baking week. So we're going to start off with 1.5 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Let's see how much we have left in this bag. I think we're going to have to open our Costco bag, which is fine. We've got just about a cup, so we need a 1/2 cup more. So we're going to grab our big Costco bag here. I love that they now have the Ziploc on these bags. This is awesome because there's nothing worse than opening a bag of chocolate chips and you don't have any way to close it. At least for me. All right, so we just need another 1/2 cup of chocolate chips for this one. Let's see if we're perfect, 1.5 cups. So we're gonna put that in our bowl. We are gonna do 30-second intervals in the microwave to melt our chocolate. So let's get this set for 30 seconds. And while this is melting for the first 30 seconds, let's get our piece of parchment paper out so that we are ready for this. Let's get this measured on here so we have the right size that we need. Okay, I think we have about the right size. This off. Looks like we got pretty close. A little overhang is fine. We're going to turn this over this direction. We're going to take our fingers and just kind of give this a seam so it's going to lay flat in our pan. We're going to set that aside for just a couple minutes because we are going to get a spatula. Let me grab one of my small ones. Okay, I guess we're going to use a big one. I don't know what happened to my other small spatula, but that's right. We'll just use our big one. That's totally fine. So we're going to pull these out. We're going to check our chocolate chips, and after 30 seconds, they're definitely not melted, but that's fine. We are going to go ahead and do another 30 seconds. And if you haven't watched the other video where I did the almond bark, or the, not almond bark, but we did pistachio cranberry bark, I was talking about how if you're not comfortable melting chocolate in a microwave, you can certainly do it in a double boiler, which is a pan on your stove with a little bit of water in it, your glass or metal bowl over the top with the water not touching the bottom of the bowl so it doesn't scorch, and melting over low heat until it's fully melted. If you're comfortable with doing the microwave, by all means do that. 30-second intervals, making sure that we don't burn our chocolate or scorch it. We don't want it to separate. Another really good tip when you are melting chocolate is make sure that your bowl is dry. Make sure that you don't have any residual water or anything else that's in it, because if you have things that are left in your bowl, if you just washed it or if it's been in the cupboard for a little bit, make sure that you've wiped it out really well, because if there's anything in there, that will definitely keep your chocolate from melting correctly, and you'll end up with a weird texture. And as expensive as baking your ingredients are right now, the last thing you want to do is waste a bunch of expensive ingredients. So we made sure that our bowl was nice and dry, that it was ready for us to melt some chocolate into it. So we're going to check this, see where we're at now with our 3rd time around in the microwave, and we're getting really close to where we want to be. But I think we are going to go another 30 seconds, and that probably will be all we need. I think that's probably going to be it. But let's get our chocolate chips off of here, because if they're not in there, they're not going to get melted on the spatula. So we're going to go 30 seconds one more time. We're going to let this melt. Hopefully it's going to be ready. And then we are going to spread this out on our parchment paper. We're going to use an offset spatula. If you're not sure what that is, it is a spatula that instead of being straight up and down, it is offset on the corner. So it makes it easy for you to get in to these pans and spread that out. It's good for frostings, all of those things. Is really a really handy tool. If you don't have one, I definitely suggest that you invest in one. They are super, super handy. All right, so this is, I think, our last time. Yep, so we are just going to continue to stir this so that we're going to use the residual heat from our bowl and from our chocolate chips. We're going to just continue to use that residual heat, and we're going to use that to finish melting all of this. Now I'm going to try something new this year for this peppermint bark. I typically just do a layered peppermint bark, and it's beautiful. It really is. It's pretty. But I saw one that is a copycat. I believe it's from Neiman Marcus. I can't exactly remember for sure, but I think that's where it's from. And it was super, super pretty, where it's a swirled white chocolate on top of your semi-sweet chocolate, and then you put your crushed candy canes on top of that. So that's what we're going to do this year to do something a little bit different. All right, so let's take our bowl. Let's get all of our chocolate down to one side. Our bowl is warm, so be careful of that. I'm going to give my hand a quick rinse real fast, get this chocolate off. Makes it a little bit hard when you can't use your index finger because you've got chocolate on it. All right, so we're gonna take this and we're just gonna dump this right into our parchment paper lined pan. We're gonna get this out of here. So make sure that we get all of our chocolate out. Use our spatula to really scrape down the bowl real well. Now this is not a recipe that I would recommend trying to wash this bowl and then reuse it. That's not going to be a good suggestion at this point, because we need to get our chocolate spread out. We need to get our white chocolate melted so that we're able to swirl this on top of the chocolate. Otherwise, the chocolate is going to be too set up. It's going to be too hard, and we're not going to be able to do the swirl method on this. So we've got this down. Let's go ahead and put our bowl away. We're going to get another small bowl. All right, let's get another small bowl up here. And we're going to use this one to melt another cup and a half. This bowl is clean. It was already dry and in my cupboard, so it's ready. So we're going to do a cup and a half of white chocolate chips on here. So put that in there. We're going to give this 30 seconds in the microwave while we are taking our offset spatula and we are spreading out our chocolate. Make sure that we get this nice and smooth, nice and straight. You do have to hold your parchment paper down a little bit because it's wanting to pull, but that's totally fine. We're just going to use our offset spatula to get this spread out nice and smooth, nice and even. Let's take our, spin our pan around a little bit so we can get into this other corner over here. I hear our microwave just beeped at me. So we're gonna grab another rubber spatula so that we are ready to stir our white chocolate. But like I said, you definitely do have to move a little bit quick with this so that your chocolate is not hardening in the process. So let's grab our spatula real fast. Let's give our chocolate chips a really quick stir. I know that they are not melted at this point with 30 seconds. We just wanted to give them a quick stir. We're going to go another 30 seconds while we continue to move our chocolate around. And I hope we can get our white chocolate melted quick enough that we'll still be able to swirl this on here. I may decide to just layer it like I have before. Just depends on how this is looking. That's what you have to do sometimes. You just have to adjust what you're doing, and you just kind of have to go with what works. So, all right, what we need to add to this one too is we need to add peppermint extract to our white chocolate after it's melted. So we're gonna let this go another 30 seconds. And I think it's still soft enough. We probably can swirl this. The other thing that I may do is I may just, let's get this all off our finger. I may just drizzle the white chocolate over this. We need to grab our chopper for our candy canes. Let's check our white chocolate now and see how we are looking. It's getting there. We're getting a little bit of meltiness going. I'm going to put in just a little bit of peppermint extract. We're going to stir that around. We're going to put this back in the microwave so that it can finish melting. White chocolate is a little bit different than doing semi-sweet or dark chocolate or any of those things. It is quite a bit different as far as the melting process goes. I have had more trouble with white chocolate seizing on me. So this is a little thick. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a little bit of coconut oil in this. We're going to add just a little bit of coconut oil to this to kind of help thin things out a little bit. Our white chocolate is a little bit thicker than I want it to be. So we're going to put in just a little bit. I'm going to say probably a tablespoon altogether of coconut oil. And then we're going to put this back in the microwave. So I think probably what we are going to end up doing is once we get this melted, I think we are going to just drizzle this, maybe not swirl it, just depending on, because it looks like our chocolate's not totally set up, but I think it might be just a little bit too thick now for us to do the whole process of swirling it through, but we'll see. And then we still need to get our candy canes chopped up to go on top. Okay, let's check this now. Our coconut oil is melting a little bit. So let's just give this a little bit of a stir, see how things are looking. Coconut oil will thin out your chocolate, which is a good thing, especially if you're having it come out a little bit thicker than you want it to. You can put the coconut oil in it, and that will help kind of soften things up a little bit. So let's finish that. Let's do that next 10 seconds. I'm making a mess, but that's totally fine. I can smell our peppermint. Our peppermint smells really, really good. So let's see how we're looking now. We want this to be a smooth consistency. We're almost there. I think we're gonna go just another 30 seconds with our chocolate. Let's scrape all this off, make sure we're not wasting any of our chocolate. Let's put this in here for let's just do 20 seconds this time and see how we're looking for it. See what it looks like this time. And then we will try to get this on here, and then we're gonna get this, get our candy canes chopped up. This is another one of those super easy barks. Like I said, the white chocolate can be a little bit temperamental. If you're not used to working with it, it can take a little bit of time to deal with, but it will come together eventually. We're almost there. Looks like we have just a few little chunks left in here that we need to get rid of. So let's get those melted in here. So let's do another 20 seconds and see where we are. I love making barks. They're so pretty. There's so many different things you can do with them, from the peppermint bark with the candy on it, with chocolate and dried nuts, dried fruits. All of those things can make such a beautiful presentation for a holiday gift to give to somebody. Even if you just make one of these barks, it will be perfect. Okay. Let's just give this a little bit of a taste. I want to see what this. Okay, so this is a little thicker than I wanted, but I think we're still going to be able to do our swirls in this. I think we're still going to be okay. I'm going to take our chocolate, our white chocolate, and I'm going to drop this by little spoonfuls so that we can swirl this through. Because we want to make sure that we get all of it on here and be able to swirl this through. I think this is going to be super pretty. Okay, let's get a little bit more up here on the very top. Okay, we're going to use a toothpick to do this. We are going to just take our white chocolate. We're going to use our toothpick to just drag through our chocolate until we get this all swirled in and it's all looking beautiful. Just use your toothpick. Just keep dragging it through your chocolates. Go all directions so that you end up with this all over. Get it nice and smooth. And this is going to be pretty. It's going to take a couple minutes to get this all swirled because you want some of the white chocolate all over the regular chocolate. So we want to make sure that we're getting some everywhere. hold this. That's the one thing about working with parchment paper is it wants to slide. And I don't really want to grease the bottom of this because I don't really want to have to deal with grease on the bottom of the parchment paper. So we'll just have to keep moving our parchment paper as it slides. Just move it over a little bit and it'll be fine. But we're getting this swirled in. And like I said, we just want to make sure that this is nice and swirled, that our chocolates are all looking good, that we don't have any big huge chunks of our white chocolate, but this is looking pretty. All right, I think we are probably good right here. I think this looks good. Let me give my hands a really quick rinse. So this is what our swirled bark looks like before we put the peppermint on it. So we're gonna grab our chopper. We're gonna get a little plastic cutting board. Let's grab our candy canes. We can put this away now we're done. So candy canes were a bit scarce in my grocery store, so I'm using these little guys. That's all I could find, but that's gonna be fine. So we're just gonna open up a few of these. Not sure exactly how many we're gonna need. So let's do about 8 of them, and we'll see how we are with 8 of these little candy canes. We'll get these opened. We'll get them chopped up. I love this little chopper. This thing is going to be awesome for chopping up these candy canes and not having to deal with a whole lot of mess. It's going to give them a quick snap so that they fit in my chopper, just like that. Get them kind of gathered up in a stack so they'll go underneath. And then I always struggle with chopping candy canes. They usually end up all over my floor. And that's why I love this chopper, because I can do this without having a humongous mess. And I can get them nice and chopped, and they're gonna stay where I want them to stay, which is on the cutting board, which makes it easy for me to chop them. So we're gonna do just the last couple that we have here. I think we had just enough. All right, these are all chopped up now. And like I said, I just love that there's no mess with this. This is amazing that I was able to get these candy canes all chopped up. I don't have a huge mess all over my floor or all over my counter. This is perfect. I'm actually happy with this. This actually looks really good. I was a little leery doing the swirl method this year instead of doing what I normally do. So now I'm going to take just this last little bit of dust that's on here, and we're just going to spread this around. Let's not waste any of it. I'm going to take my hand just real quick, and I'm going to just take my hand and just real gently kind of push these peppermints down into it so that as they harden, the chocolate hardens, these are going to stick, because I don't want to have to pick this up and break it and have these things come off because there was nothing for them to stick to. So I want these to be nice and set into our chocolate. All right, so this one is ready to go. This one needs to set up now, just like our other bark. But this is our peppermint bark that we're doing this year. This is the swirl method that we did with our white chocolate and our semi-sweet chocolate. So we are going to let this one sit and harden just like the other one. When this one's done, then we'll take it, we'll break it up into pieces, and it'll be all ready for us to start putting together our holiday goodie boxes that we are making for family and friends. All right, friends, our peppermint swirl bark is all ready to go. We are ready to break this into pieces. This is going to go into our refrigerator so that it can stay chilled till we are ready. We're going to just break this into some very random looking chunks. Bark is supposed to be very rustic looking. It's not supposed to have a whole lot of structure to it. It really should just have some beautiful rough pieces. You're gonna have stuff that falls off. That just turns into snacks, which is completely fine. But we're gonna break this, and then this is gonna go into, like I said, our refrigerator, and this will be ready for us to fill our goodie boxes that we have going. And you guys will all see that later. But as you can see, our bark is coming apart nice and pretty. We've got some beautiful chunks here that are going to go into our boxes. This is looking super good. All right, and those all broke natural, so we are good here. So this is our peppermint bark, and this is going to go into our beautiful Christmas boxes that I'll show you guys later how when I put those things together. I just want to thank you guys so much for joining me in my kitchen today. It means so much that you would spend time with me. If you're new around here, please give my video a like and a subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the fun stuff that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a huge launch of some new stuff on in the new year, so we'll share that with you guys in November, or actually in the new year. That's what I mean to say. Not November, but the new year. So we're going to share that with you guys coming up soon. I hope you guys will stay tuned for that. Make sure that you like and subscribe before you leave today, and I will be posting this recipe soon for you guys. I hope you all have a great day. Thanks, friends.